welcome to the Fall Turf Festival at Gulfstream Park West. Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Stazak. We're about to start our 5-day week, Wednesday through Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got those new wagers, lots of good things going on here at Gulfstream Park West. And we're starting today, fast main track, firm turf course. We've got a carryover today in the Rainbow Six of just about $9,000 in the Rainbow Six, which starts, I believe, in race number 5, like it always does, Katie. 5 to 10, 89.51. So we're going to call that $9,000. And it should be a lot of fun. That's, of course, the last 6 races on the card, a 20-cent wager. The new wagers I was talking about, the early pick 5 with a mandatory payout, the rolling super high fives throughout the afternoon, which have been so much fun, and a quinella in the last race, a $5 quinella in the last race. They've all been pretty successful, but nothing like that rolling super high 5.
No, these bettors have just absolutely jumped on the bandwagon for this wager. It's been a lot of fun. Sometimes we've seen it been hit for a couple $1,000s multiple times in the day. We've seen some huge jackpots as well. Makes for a really challenging bet, and I think that's why everyone's jumping on board.
Yeah, we actually had to pay one day $127,000 for 2 tickets in there. So before we get into the Wednesday card, let's see what's out there in Twitterland today. And the first we want to talk about is Beholder. Had a little bit of a fever, but you have some good news, Katie.
Yes, well, Beholder has arrived at Keeneland in preparation for the Breeders' Cup. She spiked a fever yesterday morning. She had to miss training, did not go out to the racetrack, but they took a white blood cell count, did all these testing with her blood work. Everything has come back fine. She probably won't go to the track today, but they're just shaping it up to being a normal shipping fever, very normal for horses, and she is still on track for the Breeders' Cup.
Well, the horse that we really like, we got to see run at Gulfstream, was Competitive Edge.
Yeah, this horse was just brilliant here at Gulfstream. I remember when he ran here, made his 3-year-old debut. Here's a tweet from that day when Competitive Edge won the Tamarack. It was just a brilliant performance. I'll never forget it. He is unfortunately retiring. He's been injured. He's going to stand at Coolmore Stud next year, and he is going to have some pretty nice company. He's going to be standing alongside American Pharaoh after that one retires.
Well, our one and only Edgar Prado, what a nice move he made between horses to win the Dowager the other day, and nice move.
Edgar Prado, he's back riding with us today. This is what he was doing over the weekend. He was guiding Kitten's Point to a win in the Dowager at Keeneland. He also won another stakes race earlier in the week, just doing a phenomenal job traveling all over the country, winning big races. He's gearing up for the Breeders' Cup, and he always comes right back home here to Gulfstream Park.
And it cracks me up every day. I see him, he's hanging upside down in that thing that stretches out his back, and it just cracks me up every day. Tweeted it out last week, a picture of it, but it's a lot of fun. Well, let's get into the Wednesday card. As I mentioned, fast main track. Firm turf course, first race, 5 furlongs on that firm turf course. Claim is 3 and up, non-winners of 3 races in life, or 3-year-olds, $10,000. Do have a scratch in here of number 6, Forest Warrior. Katie, we both went with the number 7, Super See Me, and this one a 2-to-1 morning line favorite, currently up there on the board very early in the wagering at even money. Looks like the logical choice.
Yeah, he's been on quite the roll. He's looking for his 3rd consecutive victory today for trainer George Navarro. Followed up his maiden-breaking score in May with a win against $25,000 claiming competition on September 11th, and that came off a 10-week layoff. He's returning from an even shorter 5-week freshening today, cutting his tag by more than half. He just makes sense any way you look at this.
Yeah, and he's 2 for 2 at the distance, never tasted defeat at this 5 furlong distance. We have our 2nd and 3rd horses flip-flop. I went with the 3 8th in second, who does his best running from a stalking position, and he should get more than enough pace in this race needed to complement his running style. A concern is, Katie, his penchant for finishing second. He's got 4 starts, 1 win, 3 seconds. But I just think he's a logical choice to be on the ticket with Super See Me.
Yeah, he's finished second in each of his last 2 starts to the same horse in All About Diva. Doesn't have to face that foe today, so maybe he'll be able to work out a win without that horse.
You know, and a logical choice, and here's a horse you have in second. I also have on my ticket, and that is Dr. J. Dub.
He's entering this race off a win. He defeated $8,000 claimers. Here on opening day, he was a much the best winner. Even though he was a heavy favorite, he should have won. He got the job done, returning off short rest, but he's never finished off the board at this distance.
Well, that is how we see race 1. Let's go to race number 2. 6 furlongs. We're on that fast main track. These are claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 in life. $30,000 down to $25,000. Do have a scratch in here of number 2, Arilla Princess. So we're dealing with a 5-horse field. Please note there'll be no rolling super high 5 in this particular race, but if it's a got one in the first, it'll carry over to the next race that has 7 or more starters, if you're not aware of that wager. I went with the 5 in here, Katie. Trust your intuition, but I want to hear about the number 1. I looked down, I did not use this horse in my ticket, and everybody seems to pick it first or second.
Well, I love the connections from the Kathleen O'Connell barn. This one is going to face winners today for the first time, so that might be why you went a different direction, but I really liked what she did when she defeated $20,000 maiden claimers in wire-to-wire fashion over at Gulfstream on September 25th. She's never finished worse than second in her 4-race career, consistently performs well, taking a step up today. We'll see if she can continue that streak.
Well, the horse that you have in second, I have in top, trust your intuition. We'll try these $30,000 types. After following her $10,000 debut, maiden victory with a duel and weekend second place finish against 22 lifetime claimers at this distance, Jenna Antonucci, 5-pound apprentice. Harry Hernandez will be in the saddle this afternoon. Just thought that was a logical choice in there. Did not use the 1, and maybe I'll have to pay for that. Who else did you use?
I threw in the 4, Sherry's Win. This one also facing winners for the first time and stepping up. She's been competing against $10,000 and $12,500 maiden claiming competition. But I also like what she did in her last race. Circled the field 5 wide to get up for the win, and it was her first start in 10 months. Her only other race, she's lightly raced. I still think she can improve. In her only other start, she was second, beaten only a nose. So I also like her consistency. We'll see if she can take that next step.
Well, race number 3 today, 7.5 furlongs, maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, $12,500. Scratch the 3, Lady Annie. Scratch the 4, Minnie Ashley. And please note the jockey on the number 7 is Rafael Hernandez. Katie, I went with the 5 in here, Rova Vivi. This one is dropping to this level, 12-5. First start since finishing second in front of 4 consecutive turf races. But that was at the $25,000, $35,000 level during the Gulfstream Park Championship meet. Coming off the layoff, Gustavo Delgado, solid with the longer than 180-day layoff, as apprentice Gerardo Corrales named to ride this afternoon. So we'll see how this works out with the apprentice. Coming off the layoff, a little bit of a guess in there. Probably the right horse is number 6, Fueda.
You had the Jenna Antonucci horse on top in the last race. I've got it in this race. This one, a daughter of Freud, turned in a career best performance at Gulfstream on September 25th, dropped out of the $40,000 maiden claiming ranks up at Saratoga to finish 4th at that level and distance. Stalked the pace, was in contention at the top of the stretch, just tired in the final stages, and it was her first time stretching out beyond 5/8 that day. I think she can build off that performance at this level today.
Well, interesting horse that we both have in third is the number 7, Miss Regal Light, who, as mentioned, today is going to be ridden by Rafael Hernandez. She's hoping to get out of second gear after following a second place finish at 22-1 across town at Gulfstream. Then she comes back, runs second again at odds of 37-1 over this course last time out. You know, I'm not really sold on her winning it. I like the jockey chance to Rafael Hernandez today. Not that Alex Gonzalez is a bad rider at all, but I just don't know if she can win it, but I got her on the ticket.
Absolutely. She looks to be the controlling speed here, but you know the old adage, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. You're going to see much lower odds today on this horse.
I'm laughing. Imagine me trying that one. That statement, I would screw that thing up for sure. Let's go to race number 4. Lucky I didn't have to say that one. 1 mile starter, optional claimer, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $12,500. Morning line favorite has been scratching here, and that's number 7, Elusive Harmony. And Katie, I went with the 4, My House. You went with the horse I have in second, Dream Come True. We want to show you this horse's performance here back on September 18th. Not here, it was across town at Gulfstream Park.
Well, this is why I have Dream Come True on top of the ticket. I was really impressed by this performance. She was just in command throughout, draws off by 4.5 lengths. And this was a race that actually came off the grass. Well, she's going to decide after that performance to stay on the main track today, making her first start off the claim for Jose Garofalo. And I just think has a major class edge over this group. She's stakes placed, and love that Tyler Gaffleone is going to stay on for the new connections.
Well, my horse, my house, the 4 horse, added credence to the horse for course theory when she returned to Gulfstream Park West and handily defeated $10,000 claimers going 7 furlongs, padded her local record to 17 races here, 5 wins, a second, and 4 thirds. Josie Gomez will be in the saddle this afternoon, so I went with the horse for course angle in there. The number 5 horses you have in second, I did not use on my ticket, and that is Arissa.
She made a surface switch in her first start off the claim last time out for the Avi Mirage Barn. Drew off to a 6 1/4 length victory here on October 11th. I really liked that performance. She won her only previous start at this distance on the main track. Shows shown an affinity for the distance. There are quite a few horses coming in here off short layoffs, short rest. She has an edge in that her race was only 6 furlongs. So stretching out today should have a little bit more in the tank. And the last race was a very easy geared downwind, so I just think she's going to have that edge over a lot of other horses coming in here off short rest.
Well, talking about the horse for course plays, how about number 6, Courtney Ryan? She's stretching out to a mile today. She's had 27 races at a mile, 11 wins, 7 seconds and 2 thirds on what is clearly her favorite racing surface. 34 races here with 10 wins, 11 seconds, and 6 thirds. If you look in the dictionary on the hard knocking campaigner, you're going to see a picture of Courtney Ryan. This is her 66th start.
She's a fan favorite down here in South Florida. Just like you mentioned, a hard-knocking campaigner. There's no other way to describe it. She's been a little off form as of late, but I'd certainly be rooting for her to get a win in this race.
Yeah, start number 66. Race number 5 today, where the Rainbow Six starts with that almost about $9,000 in that pool. Scratch the main track only participant number 9. This is 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. $8,000. As I mentioned, the 9 is a scratched main track only. Katie, we're almost in total agreement. We have our top 2 alike. We started with number 1, Starship Gambler.
Another one that's just in very good form as of late for trainer David Fox. She's seeking her 3rd straight victory. Got a confidence boost against condition claimers in August. Then she stepped right up to open company and again drew off to an open length score. She's never been off the board in 7 starts at this distance, including 3 wins. And she was second in her only previous start here back in 2012.
Well, number 8, Defying Gravity, who we both have in second, who does her best running in the latter stages of the race, breaks from the outside, looking to secure that second flight trip behind all the speed that breaks to her inside. Jose Pinchin, Rafael Hernandez at top. This is a 3-time winner at the distance, 9 starts, 3 wins, 3 thirds, so 6 for 9 in the money. Just thought if things get dicey on the front end, might set up for a horse like number 8, Defying Gravity. You used the number 4, notably Silver in 3rd.
I took a class relief angle here. She's hoping to regain her best form today. She finished 10th in her last start on September 27th, but it was in allowance company. 2 back, she was actually 4th at that level of competition behind a very consistent horse at that level in Jazzle's Dream, and a horse that had made its last start in a grade 1 in Don't Blame Me. The last time she ran at a level comparable to this, she was 2nd back in August, so I'm hoping she can return to that kind of form.
Well, number 3, Famous Thing, is ridden today by our leading riders, Tyler Gaffleone, is turning back to 7.5 furlongs. She went up, set the pace. She faded at the quarter pole in that race when finishing 7th behind Starship Gambler. Their recent confrontation at a mile, a little bit of a turn back. Going to be on or near the lead today. You got to respect Tyler Gaffleone, knows where to put these horses to win, as you can see with his record. So I think this horse has a big shot to be somewhere on the ticket. That is the number 3 horse in here. We're going to race number 6 today. Mile and 70 yards. These are maiden claiming fillies, 2-year-olds, $25,000. 7 horses in the race with no scratches or jockey changes. Really like the 7 in here. She can't miss. Dropping to $10,000 on the claiming scale. Stretching out to a mile and 70 yards after tracking the action last time out. She was 5 wide in that race and finishing. I thought it was a useful 4th. It was against 35,000 types. A career debut going 6 furlongs. David Forks, Tyler Gaffleone, a daughter of Cantaro, should have no problem with this mile 70-yard distance.
If Ron and I are right, she cannot miss today. She has plenty of room to improve, and her running style definitely suggests that she should handle the distance, though. Actually, I'm not completely sold on Cantharos as a sire of route runners, but we'll see. She could certainly prove me wrong today, and I would not be upset.
Number 6, Grand Chama, is another one stretching out around 2 turns after responding to the re-edition of Lasix with an improved third-place finish as the favorite against $16,000 maidens, going 6 furlongs. Was right here on opening day.
Well, here's one that I am convinced is bred for the stretch out. As a daughter of Bellamy Road, his 2-year-old progeny win at a 19% clip in dirt routes. She, too, making up ground at the 6 furlong distance in her last start. I think this race, this distance, sets up perfectly for her.
And this is where our final pick 5 of the afternoon starts. And we both used the 5 slide in third, stepping up, stretching out. Had a little trouble, bumped a rival in the stretch, finished 4th, was placed 5th by the stewards for her antics during the stretch run. And Missy Jaramillo will be in the saddle this afternoon.
She was the runner-up in her start prior. Last time out, she just got into too much traffic trouble, bumped repeatedly with a rival. I think she can run more to the start 2 back.
Let's go to race number 7, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. These are claimers 3 and up, non-winners of 3 in life, or 3-year-olds, $8,000. Jockey change on number 5, make the rider Rafael Hernandez. I went with the 4 in here. Fratello is stretching out to his most accomplished distance. He's had 13 races at this distance, a couple of wins, a couple of seconds. First start since rallying between horses last time to finish second against similar. That was going a mile on the Gulfstream Park turf. A 9-year-old today. This one is 2 starts on this course, 1 win and 1/3. 9-year-old, number 4, Fratello, senior citizen, on top of the ticket.
Absolutely should be somewhere on your ticket, whether that's the rolling super high 5, the pick 5, the late pick 4, or the rainbow 6. This horse has to be somewhere. But I did go with the 2, Wildcat Kitten. Kitten's Joy Gelding, seeking his 2nd straight victory today, responded to a surface switch back to turf. Well, boy, isn't that surprising? A son of Kitten's Joy. Kick clear to a length score against similar competition on October 3rd, taking the tiniest of drops in class to accommodate for a step up in condition level to face non-winners of 3. I think he should sit the trip in here, but again, I think we have the right to.
Yeah, but 0 for 4 at a mile and a 16th is why I switch these around. I mean, they're the right 2, but I just didn't like that 0 for 4 at the mile and the 16th. That's not to say the horse can't win at that distance, but I think you exact the box these 2. I used the 7 Il Volo, who made more starts than my 1999 Volvo. This horse, he's really had a good career. He stretches out in distance where he's 1 for 32. He's had 32 races at this distance. 1 win, 7 seconds, 7/3. He rallied to finish second. He was beaten a length here going a mile on October 8th. Louis Duco is the trainer. Marcos Menendez handling this new gelding in his 49th start. So they're trying something different with him. I don't know if he can win it, but he can certainly, I think, be somewhere on the exact, the trifecta, and especially the super high 5 ticket.
Pretty ironic here. The 9 Havermeyer Street is also 1 for 32 at this distance. That's quite a number, but they're identical. This one, I think, again, has a good shot in the race to maybe pick up a piece, but I'm going with Ron on this exacta box here on the 2 and the 4.
Let's go to race number 8, 1 mile claimers, 3 and up, $10,000. Scratch the number 7, Mike the Bear. And we're going to go back and show you a performance. A horse I did not use, Katie, I don't know if you have it on top. Grandpa's King. This race, I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to show you this Grandpa's King's last race. This is wide open.
This is a wide open race, and I remember talking to you about this race the other day and saying, I'm going to take a shot with this horse because I really like the way this horse closed last time out. Makes a 3-wide bid, finishes a gaining 3rd when going 6 furlongs. Look at the way this horse comes on here. A lot of horses, the horse on top obviously has the jump. You see horses coming from the back of the pack, but this one really, I just liked his momentum late. Stretching out to a mile today, I think he's really going to respond to the extra distance as a son of a mass media. I like that he rated 2nd time with the blinkers. I think he might show a little more speed on the stretch out today. Maybe that'll help him so he won't have as much ground to make up. But I really like that he's pretty versatile and has improved since returning to the main track and adding those blinkers.
And a nice 6-1 on the line. That's what you like to get in those super high 5s, so they pay a lot. I did go with the horse you have in 2nd on top, and that's West Ride. Turning back to a mile today after stalking the pace throughout and finishing 2nd, going a mile in the 16th across town at Gulfstream. The trainer is Clifton Christie. He's got Jose Garcia handling the inside post this afternoon. And as Katie mentioned and I mentioned, wide open affair. I think if you have a chance to go deep in all your multiple wagers, you go deep in this race. I used the 4 in 2nd, is stretching out. That's Drimmer to a mile. Had 4 races at this distance after rallying late to finish 4th. Beating a couple of lengths in his local return, going 3/4 of a mile. Rodolfo Garcia, Diego Gomez. But this horse is a 0 for 24 maiden. So you see where we're going here. It's wide open. open. Who else did you use?
I used the 2 Huddy Up, as did you, and wouldn't we love to see these connections win? They just had a win at a price last week. This is 94 years young trainer Jerry Bozzo. This one has been third in each of his last 2 starts. Most recently held on for the show after making a bit along the rail, getting tangled up a little bit with another horse in the stretch. They brushed each other repeatedly through the lane. Maybe with a cleaner going, he'll be able to pay a nice price again today.
Well, all things being equal, and they certainly are in this race, this horse is 3 for 6 in the money on this track, and that value just enough to make you lean that way. But a wide open affair, almost sounds like the old button. Might be the way to go in that race when you're putting your Rainbow Six ticket or your rolling Super High 5 tickets together. Tough race. 9th race, 1 mile. It's on the turf. It's a starter optional claimer. 3-year-olds and up, $35,000. Do have some scratches in here. My top pick, I'm not happy about this. Number 3, Golden Rifle. I thought I could beat Joe's Blazing Arrow. Also scratched the 7 and the 8. So that's 3, 7, and 8 are taken out of this race. Now we're going to go back and show you the performance of Speedball Joe's Blazing Arrow.
Well, Ron, you might be upset about the scratch of Golden Rifle, but I think a lot of the horse players will be very happy about it because maybe you can go a little bit lighter in this race now and maybe think about singling Joe's Blazing Arrow. I thought this performance back on September 25th was very impressive. He just kicks clear. The rider looks back behind him and kind of eases up a little bit late, just hand and riding him, gets a little bit of a reminder tap there, holds on for a nice score, and he went, you know, the early fractions for the first quarter and half were slow, but he picked it up late, really brought it on. The horse that ran second, that's Padilla, he came back to run very well. He's going to face him again here today, but I think Joe's Blazing Arrow shouldn't have a lot of speed to contend with here and can run away with this.
Well, here's my concern. He's in for the $35,000 tag this afternoon in this optional claimer, and I don't, you know, that was why I was leaning to horse that scratched, so it doesn't matter now. It looks like Joe's Blazing Arrow has the jump. You mentioned Padilla needs speed. I don't know if he goes with Joe's Blazing Arrow and he's done. So what about the 2 horse in here, Xavier, who's actually my launch shot on the ticket today, debuting locally for trainer Chuck Simon after encountering a troubled 2 starts back at Saratoga. He was jostled in that race. He was made to go 5 wide, and then he left too much to do on September 5th also at Saratoga. That was against $62,500. I think he fits well in here. He likes to run late. There's got to be a sizzling pace up here. If they let Joe's Blazing Arrow go, it's over. So someone goes up and challenges him like Padilla, might set up for the 2 horse Xavier today.
It could also set up for the 6 concert stage, and I really like this horse. He just runs consistently every time, narrowly beaten in his last 2. He's hit the board in each of his last 10 starts at various levels, various distances for trainer Gustavo Delgado. Owns a win over this turf course, and he was second, beaten just a half length by Padilla, 2 back, so I thought he also fit in well.
Well, we're going to go to our final race on the Wednesday cards. 5 furlongs on the turf, an allowance optional claimer, Phillies 2-year-olds, $75,000. Really nice race. Scratch the 11. The main track only, number 11, 6, 7, 12, and 14. And please note that the number 13 will be ridden by Edgar Prado today. So number 13 does get in, and we'll have Edgar Prado in the saddle. And we want to go back and show you performance of a horse that Katie put on top. Almost did it myself, but I went the other way, and we're talking about Washington's Song.
This is the first start from Washington's Song, and a nice one at that, back from September 20th at Gulfstream. This one of 2 in here from the Ralph Nix barn, makes a 4-wide bid at the quarter pole, draws off to break his maiden at first asking by a length and 3/4. I think this is a really well-bred horse, and though Tyler Gaffleone rides Can Do in this race, I gave the edge to this one because he already has turf experience.
Well, I was a charter member in the Can Do fan club, the number 3 horse, when she made her career she makes her career turf debut today, but when she won that debut, went up to Saratoga, had a lot of trouble, comes back, runs second as the favorite against this level of competition, going 6 furlongs on the main track. Ralph Nix, you mentioned the connections, Tyler Gaffleone, combination, turn back, and a surface switch this afternoon. Really liked this horse when it first started out and everything like that. And, you know, last time out was odds on to be and finish second in that race. Washington Song does have that victory on the turf. I could see why you went there, but I'm sticking with my Can-Do's fan club badge for one more race to see if you can handle the surface switch.
And you know what? She's bred pretty well for it by Ken Tharos. He's done well with his turf runners, especially in turf sprints. Just take a look at Katie's Kiss, who has done so well. Also out of a Mr. Greeley mare, so turf on both sides. And the runner-up from her debut came back to win 2 in a row on the turf course, and that's more royalty.
Yeah, so there is a reason to believe she will handle that surface switch. Number 2, Eden's Garden could try and outrun her pedigree when she debuts on the turf after crushing the competition in a 4.5 furlong maid track debut, but it was back on May 14th. I'm not enamored with Awesome, of course, his progeny on the turf course, but this horse, Stanley Gold, firing bullets, I would not be surprised this horse just went out and won.
Well, here's why you're not enamored with Awesome again. As a turf sire, this is the first full out of an unraced mare. The sire never raced on turf and hasn't produced a 2-year-old turf winner in the past 5 years.
There you go, see? I knew I wasn't enamored with the turf breeding in there, so.
But she's been working lights out. The last 3 breezes have been bullets. I was pretty wowed by a September 26th half-mile move in 46-4 by a 2-year-old filly. Was the best of 89 workers.
Yeah, and like I said, it's Stanley Gold, so if this horse won, I would not be surprised. I went 3 deep when you see my Rainbow Six ticket later and everything else. Had to go 3 deep, even though it looks like those 2 from Ralph Nixon, the logical choices. I learned many times, do not leave Stanley Gold off your ticket. Well, that's how we see the Wednesday card. Should be a lot of fun. We're about to turn it over to our track announcer, Pete Aiello. He'll give you all the updated scratches and changes you need to have a winning day here at Gulfstream Park West.
Fall Turf Festival, going to be a fun day, and we've mentioned all the great things about this place, but none greater than this weather that we're getting right here today. Lovely day. See you here.